Hey guys, and welcome to Monday, or rather, Monday is when this video is for, but it's not necessarily Monday. Let's just say I didn't film. So instead of day-to-day life for this Monday, because I don't remember what happened, we're going to have a topic vlog. Woo! And what might the topic be, you ask? Well, if you paid attention to the video title and what shirt I'm wearing, you probably can figure it out. That's right, my favorite and least favorite Zelda games. Now, before I begin, this is in my opinion. If you have differing opinions, then please feel free to comment down below. But again, my opinion, please do not hate on me or anything for whatever I'm about to say, because given my least favorite Zelda game, I may get some hate for that. Just saying, this is all based off of the games that I have played personally. I have not played them all, so any games that I haven't played of the Zelda series, I am leaving out of this discussion. However, least favorite is a very loose term right now. When I say my least favorite, I mean the game I do not feel like I would want to go back and play over and over all the way to the very end again. I don't know why, but every time I play through this game, I get halfway through it and I'm like, I don't really want to continue on. I just kind of want to stop and redo all the beginning. And one game might be my least favorite in this case. I'm sorry, people, but Ocarina of Time. Now, I was thinking about it being Minish Cap before. However, I've only played through that game once, and it's just not very memorable to me. And I was confused a few times, but I did get through the game, and there were some times where I just knew there was something to do here, but I didn't know when I could do it because, I don't know. Now, as for why Ocarina of Time is my least favorite. While I will concede, it does have the best storyline. I have argued for years that it has the best storyline out of any Zelda game, and it has a lot of memorable characters. And the end scene is fantastic to watch. When I do finally make it to the end after the final battle, A, it's satisfying to finally beat Ganon, and B, the cutscene, the end scene, fantastic to watch. It's got great music and it brings you panoramic views of all the scenery you've come to know and love, and lets you see what happens after you have defeated the evil. However, to me, the temples are very tedious and can get very annoying. Like, not just the water temple. Yes, the water temple pisses me off, but the other temples also, because, okay, starting at the very beginning, I don't mind the first few temples. I don't mind the Great Deku Tree, I don't mind Dodongo's Cavern. Jabu Jabu, I'm kind of iffy just because I do screw up a lot when I'm trying to figure out how to get to one room or another, but it's still okay. And I mean, it's just the beginning, you're getting used to the controls and everything. Then you get to the Forest Temple. Oi. Mind you, I love the Forest Temple for the fact that it gives you the bow and arrow. That is like my favorite weapon in the Zelda series. It is so bloody confusing, and I swear I always have to leave it and go back in to do whatever it was that I was doing, and I get confused and forget where I always have to go. Normally when I play through a Zelda game, I can play through it once and then play through it again later and remember where I'm supposed to go. I still have a hard time doing that with Ocarina of Time. Might be the fact that I don't play it as much as some of the other games, but even still, the amount of time I play it, not that different. Fire Temple, I'm fine with for the most part. I prefer it over all the other temples in the latter half of the game. The Water Temple. Holy crap. Yes, I get lost in it all the time. I always forget where the map is, and now I remember it more so after forgetting it for like the umpteenth time. But the thing that pisses me off the most is that every time you leave the main room, even if it's just for a split second, and you go back in, the stupid Tektites appear again and again and again. I mean, dear God, I understand you want to regenerate enemies and make it harder for you to proceed, but it's just flat out annoying to have those there. I mean, come on. They're not even hard enemies. They're just literally annoying. They're there to make sure that you miss that one hookshot area that you have to get to, and it's just, oh my God, I hate it. I don't like the fact that they regenerate every time you go back in. It is so annoying, and I swear you don't have to deal with that in any other thing or any other temple. Like, seriously, I hate Tektites now because of that. Aside from the Tektites and the tediousness, I probably just grew up with that game wrong, because it was my second Zelda game. I will tell you this, it was not my first Zelda game, but it was my second. My first Zelda game was The Wind Waker, and after I played that for a while, I got a walkthrough guide that I could use to help me get things that I missed. At the very back of that walkthrough guide was a mini walkthrough for Ocarina of Time. That's actually how I got introduced to more of the Zelda series. I'm like, oh hey, that looks cool, that looks like it'd be fun. And yes, it was fun when I played through it the first time. This part will be on me because this probably affected how I related to the game. I didn't connect to the game necessarily just because I was going through the motions of what the book told me to do. Now mind you, it wasn't very detailed, so I didn't necessarily get all the help from that book, but at the same time, I got a lot of help from that book. A lot. I think that just affects my connection with the game. Mind you, I do love imagining being in the position of that game, like being in where Link is there, because it is fascinating, the concept of going back and forth through time and trying to figure out, okay, this happened and now I gotta save these people, and now these people are older and oh my gosh, everything's changed. And that's fantastic for that one. I just still have a hard time connecting to the story. Yes, I do like it, but out of the games I've played now, I think it actually is my least favorite to play through, because the story lasts as long as you can produce it in your head, and when you're going around just doing a few random things, you kind of start losing that. Also, a little side thing with the game, Skulltulas, not worthwhile. At least up to finding like all the Skulltulas, it's not worth it. Once you reach, I think, the Giant's Wallet from them, that's pretty much where you should stop with the Skulltula house, because everything else is like. And I mean, it's not satisfying to kill a Skulltula. They're just sitting there or hiding in places, and you don't do much. It's similar to the Pose quest in Twilight Princess, but I enjoyed that because, I mean, heck, you get to turn into a wolf, first of all, and rip the soul out of a ghost. How cool is that? It's like, oh, it's so satisfying. It's like, gosh. I promise I'm not a violent person. So when you end up adding all of those up, Ocarina of Time is my least favorite to play. I still enjoy playing it. Keep in mind, this is just me saying which of the Zelda games I have played I do not enjoy playing more. So I'm not saying it is a bad game by any means at all. I'm just saying it's not my favorite. So if Ocarina of Time isn't my favorite game, or close to my favorite game, what would my favorite game be? Now this one I'm kind of weighing in with multiple factors because I enjoy a lot of the games I have played. I'm not including any of the ones I have yet to play, although I'm including Majora's Mask because even though I haven't finished it, I played through most of it. I was careful with considering why certain games were my more favorite of the series. So I got it down to 2 for reasons to each of them. One, yes, is more my favorite for the other, but mainly for the fact that it was my very first Zelda game. Yes, I'm talking about The Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker. It was my first Zelda game and has a lot of nostalgia to me. I go back to playing that game every time, and I'm a kid again, and I love that feeling. And I mean, not only that, but it's also got fantastic graphics. Even if people were like, oh, what the heck is this? This is child's play. And I'm like, yeah, that's kind of the point. You want to get younger kids into Zelda as well, right? You don't want it all to be like Majora's Mask creepy or Twilight Princess attempt at darkness-ness. You want to be able to let kids, and your kids eventually in the future, enjoy Zelda as well. And Wind Waker is a great starting point. Heck, it's the game that introduced me to the series, and I've been playing so many more games because of that. Because I got to play Wind Waker, I've looked at other games I could possibly play. The fact that it means childhood to me, it has a special place in my heart, and always will. Aside from the nostalgia factor, the ocean exploration, fantastic concept. People often complain that it's a really tedious portion of the game, but I enjoyed it really, because I mean, it was a chance for you to sit back and just kind of relax and chill and listen to the awesome music, or lack thereof if it was at night, and you just got to take in the scenery, watch the islands pass by, look at the stars at night, watch the clouds move. It was a lot to look at if you really paid attention, or just let your mind wander in the scene. And I mean, who hasn't dreamt about sailing the oceans just for fun, or even to go on an adventure? This is one of the ways I could do that, because I don't think I will ever really go on an ocean adventure on my own one day. And it's got funny moments as well. Like, my favorite is when the Tower of the Gods rises out from the ocean, and Link's been flung from one of the Triangle Islands, and then my mom and I will laugh at that every time. So if Wind Waker is my favorite, mainly for the fact of nostalgia and the fact that I do believe it is a very good game, although I believe all of these games are very good, what would my favorite be if I was excluding Wind Waker for the nostalgia factor? I could possibly say Skyward Sword. Now I say possibly because I've not played it as many times as I have the other Zelda games. All the games I own, I played through at least twice, including Ocarina of Time. Skyward Sword, I've only played twice, and that's it. I know I played the other ones more than twice. And with Skyward Sword, the first time I played it was normal mode. The second time I played it, I was in hero mode. So it was slightly a different experience, but at the same time, I also played those two playthroughs really close together, whereas normally I would wait a few months before I play again. But I was so excited to try and get through hero mode and do, I think, the Thunder Dragon challenge that I just went right at it and I kept going. So this one is more of an if, but again, I enjoy the Zelda series like fully. Like the games I haven't played, it's either because I've been too scared to play them because they seem really hard, or I just haven't had the time to play them. The games that I'm saying are too hard are basically all the old 2D Zelda games. I'm a wimp. But I did like what Skyward Sword brought to the field in terms of what Zelda can do. Like, the graphics, first of all, they are Wind Waker and Twilight Princess-esque, but they bring life. Just as Wind Waker did for me, they bring life again into an environment that is so new and you want to explore every nook and cranny. Now, mind you, there wasn't that much to explore because you were confined into 3 small areas on land and only a few islands in the sky, but it was still fascinating. Not to mention how expressive the characters can get. I mean, you could see in their faces what they were feeling all the time, even the NPCs. Like, all the minor characters, you knew how they were feeling all the time, and you could connect with them on that emotional level, which made it easier to connect to the game in general. Like, a lot of people talk about how Skyward Sword Zelda is their favorite now. That's why. It's because she is so expressive and you care about her as a person and you want to protect her at any cost, and you want the relationship between her and Link that actually seems to be showing to be there. I mean, characters, heck, Girahim. He is the most flamboyant, expressive villain in the entire Zelda series. He is fantastic as a villain. He is scary, he is funny, and you just want to punch him in the gut, and at the same time you just want to laugh just because he does such goofy things. Like at the very end, and he does this dance. It is the most ridiculous thing ever, but at the same time it's scary given the concept of the fact that he's trying to steal someone's soul. Fantastic villain. The best, I think, in the Zelda series so far. I mean, he just doesn't care, and he's so... what's the word? Like, he emanates evil, but in the sense that it's very coy, I think is the word. It's like very, I'm just gonna mess with you, and then it starts building and building over time. Like, you get a little taste of that at the very beginning of the game where he's like, I'm so mad, this little goddess runt has gone away again. Oh, but I might just toy with you for a while. And then you see him build over time, and it is fantastic. In regards to the final boss battle, a very well done battle. Annoying as heck when you first do it, but once you get the pattern down, it's actually pretty good, and you can kind of go through it. And I don't mean that like you just go through the motions, but you're just like, I'm going to kill you, you are going to die, you are going down. Like, I feel that when I'm just like, every time I fight the final boss now, I have to beat him. And I'm just like, you are going down. Probably has something to do with the fact that I also did the Thunder Dragon challenge for like 20 hours in hero mode trying to get to the final boss in that run. I'm just like, holy crap, so annoying. I seriously probably spent 20-30 hours on the Thunder Dragon challenge in hero mode. I died so many times just to the final boss. Just freaking heck. You son of a bleep. Now, as I said earlier, I don't like the fact that you can't explore as much in this game, but at the same time, it's kind of nice because then you're not getting too sidetracked. But then again, side quests are what make Zelda games come to life as well. I mean, Majora's Mask is like, what, 80% side quests? Those bring the game to life. So I feel like if they had more side quests like that, Skyward Sword would be a fantastic game. I mean, the side quests that they do have, too, are very charming and endearing. Like, I don't know how to say his name. Beatrix, name right here. I was so confused when I first saw him, and I was like, okay, I'm ready to fight. And all of a sudden he's like, don't hurt me. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, that first reaction, something that you do not expect. It's like, that's what you want to hear and want to see and experience in a game. And it's a game that's nostalgic in a new way. I guess that's also why I kind of like it, because it brings back so many elements from previous games, like the hand in the toilet, collection quests for like the gratitude crystals. There we go. And just little kickbacks to previous games, some that I probably don't even know exist. It's not the best game, I will admit. I don't know which of the Zelda games is like the technical best. Like I said, these are just my opinions, but if there's like a technical thing to what makes a good Zelda game, it comes pretty close, I think. There are problems, but then again, what game doesn't have problems? I mean, the big thing with Skyward Sword is that the fact that the motion controls sometimes wouldn't work. Yes, I experienced that sometimes, but then again, I was also being a lazy butt and sitting on the butt and just going, shoo, die! Kind of a tangent here, but I also find it funny that Skyward Sword is one of my favorite games, even though it has the Guardians. I don't like them. They scare me. They scare me a lot. Even though they don't technically kill you, they're very scary. They're very, very scary. And I don't like them. I can't decide if I like them less than Redeads or not. Because Redeads scare the heck out of me. I mean, you want to scare me, you'd get a freaking Redead costume and I'll either punch you in the gut or run for the hills. So in the sense of my favorite Zelda games, I have a favorite mainly for the fact of nostalgia factor, and I have a favorite mainly for the fact that it brings so much new and interesting concepts, and I do enjoy playing through it. But that doesn't mean I dislike the other Zelda games any more or less. It's just I'm trying to look at it from the most technical aspects I can and what they mean to me. Like, the biggest thing is what they mean to me. So, who knows, maybe I'll go through each Zelda game, like, other than these ones I just went through, and explain what I do and don't like about it. Heck, if you guys have any other games you want me to look at too, I mean, I don't have that many games, but I do watch a few Let's Plays, and I also have some more Mario Party games. I have Super Paper Mario and Paper Mario Thousand Year Door. I don't know, I might do more review-ish kind of things, or just my opinions on why I enjoy the games. Not necessarily why they're good games, but why I enjoy them, because it doesn't really matter if a game is good or not. What matters is if you enjoy it. Because a game might be really good, and it might be the best game ever. It doesn't matter unless there are people to enjoy that game. If there are people that don't enjoy the best game ever, then it's really not the best game ever. It just all goes down to what it is you enjoy and what it is you get out of those games. Talking for a lot longer than I thought I would, but hey, this is what I get to do when I forget to film on days. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to see you again tomorrow, where there will be filming, I think. Yes, I did film last Tuesday. Doodles.